Hi everybody, how you doing? Just went into Fred Meyer's, got myself some, I had to get some strawberries, some spinach, blueberries, um, and, use my coupons. And the blueberries are out of the smaller container of blueberries, and usually the smaller version of blueberries. All they have left now is these jumbo blueberries. I mean, they're like huge. So I was like thinking, wow, I wonder what they taste like in my shake. Because I have a protein shake. I try to have one every day. And so then yesterday I ran out of protein powder. So, and sometimes the whey protein powder can get really crazy expensive. So I was like thinking, oh, please, Lord, please, when I go to Fred Meyer's, please let there be, a good one that's around $20-25, When they start getting up to, over $25, it's like, it's a little steep, but I did. I got one. I got Muscle Milk, which I used to drink the Muscle Milk, already made and stuff. But they have a powdered version of Muscle Milk, and there's lots of magnesium, phosphorus, iron, uh, kind of different, and vitamin A, C, D, and stuff like that. And I thought, I was looking at the one that I normally buy, Muscle Milk, whey, and it doesn't even have half of this in it. And I'm like thinking, let's do that. Because, the magnesium and the calcium and stuff like that, that's for our bones. And if I put strawberry spinach, or fresh strawberries, fresh spinach, and blueberries and a banana in it, it just adds some more vitamins, and I drink that as a meal or an afternoon snack or shake, but usually in the morning. But anyway, get the images. I know. I'm just documenting everything that, which I really wished that, I know in one of my videos that actually I think I have online right now, I turned the camera to focus on my feet to show, where it was burnt on the top. But I never took a picture of it. I was like thinking, dang, this is the only part of my body that I didn't take a picture of or document, was my feet being burnt. And perhaps, I think what had happened, my mind and thinking, is that I was trying to figure out why my feet were burnt and how that happened before the sign on my hand, before I seen that image of Jesus unfolding on my chest that I also showed you on a video, where you can actually see Lord Jesus and this big lion and this tiger, and then these other images of people on my chest as well, in my diaphragm. And then here, yesterday or a couple of days ago, there's on my left side up here is that green dragon. It's a bluish green dragon, which represents the east, and it's called Azure, Azure, and it's so Azure, the east, and so it's in charge of rain and wind. And the most interesting thing about it is the last 3 days, there's been a lot of wind and rain, the typical fall weather, to where all the leaves actually, you can see right now, hopefully you can see all the leaves that have fallen so far just from the last couple of days storm. And then that tree right there is looking all already pretty much plucked. But I think these signs and the things that are unfolding, in this world, and how we can read them, and then them, the signs coming on my body and stuff like that, which I think is just really amazing of how we're connected And if we can see our connection to the reality that we're in, I know, but to show that, I think that that's the amazing thing about my journey and my soul mission is that I was able to show as best as I could of the images that God is unfolding on my body within my makeup and my character. I'm able to show that back in 2010, all this right here of my hair was like seriously white, and this was like speckled with gray kind of like thing. And then in, what was it, 2017, around that time? No, it was around 2019, 2020, something like that. I started noticing my hair getting darker and darker in 2021 and 2022. And then now, when I look at it, I'm just like, this is so unbelievable of how dark my hair is right now. Because when I look at my family, my little brother's 3 years younger than me, and his hair is almost completely white. My doctor, he's 10 years younger than me, and his hair is almost completely white. And when I started going to him in 2014, 2015, he looked like this young guy with, dark hair. He actually looks India kind of like perhaps background, but he's also United States ex-military as well. But it's interesting because when I seen him 6 months ago, his hair was almost completely white. And I remember asking him when we were doing the interview, because he goes, "Oh, you're looking good," because I updated my picture on the profile. He goes, "I really like your picture on the profile." He goes, "What are you doing differently, because your hair's looking darker?" I go, "Yeah, yours is looking whiter, brighter." He goes, yeah. But it's just funny not funny, but I guess from my perspective, it is funny of how really looking, and I know it has to do with, or I have the sense that it has to do with planting the 3 seeds. The King David seed, Judaism. It's planting the Christian seed. It's planting the Islam seed. It's bringing them all together, as one solid thing. Instead of, when you look at the world today, those that are just Christians and they can't see themselves as being Islam or Judaism, right? They're just one way, or Judaism can't see Christianity or Islam. Or Islam can't see Christianity or Judaism, right? They think that they're separate and they're chosen over the rest of them. But so does Christianity. They think that they're the ones that are chosen over all of them. And then you got Judaism, right? And so it's kind of funny how they all think that, but that's why I think that this whole test, the old test and the new test and the end test of time, is realizing that the division that's being on. And then if you look at those 3 seeds, remember the word tree, T-R-I, is a value of 3. So it's like a tree stand. A Christmas tree, so Christ is in the middle of this. A Christ mass means something like my body is a solid, a volume or something of that nature. So Christ mass. So there's one stand, one arm, one leg going down, and then you got Judaism on my right, another leg, and then you've got Islam over here, which is quite interesting because what I just drew out was like this triangle, right? But it goes from, it's like you've got the 2 legs that come down, Islam and Judaism, and goes down, right down the middle of the triangle is Christianity, which is quite interesting because that represents H for height, right? Or holy, hallowed be thy name. But anyway, it's tree, your Christmas tree, your Christ Mass tree. Are you decorating your Christmas tree? I don't know. It's kind of interesting how this whole time, and then you got the three brains. Three is tree, so, and you have the three, religions that you plant, of the three seeds, of three beans. I don't know. I know I repeat a lot of this stuff to you guys, but there's only a few of you that like watch me and stuff like that. So, and there's like one or two of you that may notice or can see the images that I'm showing you on my body. And again, like I've said before, I understand now, even though it's kind of frustrating because I didn't understand at first. But again, it's like I didn't understand until my high school friend had told me. Casey, it's just like when you look at an image and say, and this black and white image, they say try to find how many cows you can find in this image, or how many certain objects. But again, in those situations, you're looking for a particular object. In my situations, I've got to figure out what the design or the object is representing, which I get, again, that's just kind of like another growth thing, a growth of learning and using your mind's eye, and using your smarts and using what you've read and common sense. And then again, of course, try to share it with everybody, try to show everybody, whether if they, no matter if they listen or not, because I guess that's one of the things that you can tell, those who preach God's words and stuff, and those who can actually show you, physically show you. And of course, those are the people that will, have you running from them because they've got signs, they've got images. And then people look at those as like, oh no, you've been marked. Well, of course I've been marked. I've been marked by God. This world, this underworld, this mindset, it's like it's either black and white. You can only see one way. But again, the male Adam body is made up half female and half male, which is not one way. There's two ways in the body. Bi means two. Bible. It's like if you look at the Bible Belt, like the word Bible, B-I, means two, and then bell, look at it as belt. Now, if you take a DNA strand down, it looks like a belt. This long, thick strand with an X and Y chromosome in it, which is two. And I think which I don't understand why people get so hung up on that. And then, even if you research it, that we're all born female. And I think that's just amazing how we're all born female into this reality, because the first 12 weeks, as the fetus is growing, and of course when it's growing in a golden ratio form as well. And then it's growing by the X chromosome. So the X chromosome is the female chromosome. So that's why we have nipples as males, and that's why some males can lactate. And again, when we come into the world, we got to discover ourselves. And then now this reality, and then the church people and stuff are like, you're doing wrong of God. God doesn't want you doing this. God doesn't want. Well, Jesus told us, because Jesus was here to reverse the curse, to tell you, the truth. The men, half of my body is female, half is X. So when you got these people that are bi, these people that are confused that they're in the wrong body, compared to a woman, and some women say that they're in the wrong body too, which that could possibly be, but the soul gets placed into a body like that. Again, these are like avatar bodies that our soul is being placed into, and it's like, so it's like God creates this human body of Adam, and then our soul gets placed into this body, and then we were born into this world, and then we got to discover this kingdom, this body, and what it's made out of. And that's the biggest challenge in this world, because there's all these men that can't see any female of them at all. So they're totally denying the X chromosome that their body is made of. So they can only see the Y chromosome. No, I'm all man. I'm all man. Well, yeah, your body makeup is man, but you still have female sensations. Your nipples are still sensitive like a female. Men get boobs that look like female breasts. Our private parts. The sensitivity down there, it's still the same. But anyway, I know it's kind of personal stuff, but if people actually talked about this, if we actually talked about, telling the people that you were created first for the first 12 weeks as female, and you have the X chromosome, 72,000 chromosome of the X, and then you have 72,000 of the Y chromosome as the male. So you're half female. So you've got that female tendency, even though your body is male. So again, when you look at Adam is kind of like, kind of fighting with himself of, being put in the wrong body, but not being put in the wrong body, because, he's got the female and the male gene that's kind of conflicting. But in this world, they teach you be a man, you're all Y gene, you're not the X gene, and that kind of thing. And then the church says that they're speaking for God and of God, and they're not. They're not. They're speaking to keep a society of thinking a certain way. That's all it is. And when you do that, you're creating a cult. You're preventing God's information and God's creation from being presented and being proud. Like, I'm a proud bi man. I just prefer men over women. And that's probably because my female side, even though my male Y chromosome is strong on my physical part, my female X chromosome is stronger in the mother sense. And, of course, of going and discovering this, now I understand that I'm not in the wrong body. Because I remember I went through the majority of my life, even when I was young, asking God, it's like, I'm in the wrong body. I'm in a male body. I got these female senses. And again, if we just discuss this with people and let them know that, no, you're not in the wrong body. You just have half your body is female. And that's why you're sensing this. And you've got to balance yourself. And perhaps that's the whole thing about the chi, the chakra system going up. You've got to balance yourself. Oh, and real quickly, that's another thing when I was going to bed last night about Horus, how Isis searched the Nile, which is straight down of us, for all the parts of Osiris to put him back together. Now think about it. We've got the chakra system. We got the root. We got the sacral. We got the solar plexus. We got the heart. We got the soul. We got the mind's eye, the Last Supper, or the temple table, I should say, and our crown. Now, last night I was laying there and I was like thinking, okay, so if Isis went out on a journey, so she went out and she planted the seed, so the red. So it's like you go to the root chakra, you discovered all the values of what the root chakra means. It means survival, it means grounded, it means fear-based mode, that survival kind of thing. Then you go to your orange chakra, which is sacral, the sacred golden sun. So now she's found that piece, and then she goes to the solar plexus, finds that piece, and then she finds the heart, and then she finds his soul, and then she finds that, so she creates him on the Last Supper table, so she pieces him all together, and then now Osiris is king of the body right there. So Isis created Osiris by piecing all the chakra systems together as one, so Osiris comes alive. kind of interesting, right? When you look at it that way. See, what I'm trying to show you is what God's showing me. I'm sure it's God or Jesus, and it's probably Archangel Gabriel, Michael, and the rest of the angels. I'm not going to pinpoint and say who's saying it. It's these images and visions that come into my mind, and I just think about them and see what I'm being shown, and then I just go on from there, and then I try to put it out in the video and describe what I was being shown. And that's what I was being shown. It was like perhaps Isis was showing me, this is how I created Osiris. I went to the root chakra where I had to get out of the survival mode. I had to plant the idea. Then I went to the sacred golden sun, and then you got to go through the dust system and then working your way up. It's like within yourself, you're building your temple, the third temple in your mind. You're building up Osiris, You're building up the dragon, your chi. You're rising your chi. You're building your ki, perhaps. I don't know. Have a great day, everybody. I'm going to enjoy the day because the sun has been out and blooming. It's about 66, but still. Speaking of sex real quick. So remember the prisoner swap? Iran, 5 prisoners back to America, and America give 5 prisoners back to Iran. Well, then America also gives $6 billion. Remember the letter 6. 6 in Greek represents Z, the weapon. Remember what Russia has on its tanks, Z, representing 6. Now we have Israel. Israel is represented as, I do believe, 6. It is. Israel is right. Is represented as 6 as a weapon. Iron staff, radiant, electrical, right? And then, of course, America's funding the war to Israel. Did it get cut off? It says, no, I didn't. But so anyways, what I'm looking at here is like America has fueled Ukraine against Russia, and then America not only paid $6 billion to Iran, knowing that they're going to fuel the Palestinians because they know the Palestinians in Israel, and then now, we're feeding Israel. So it's like we're feeding these wars, like this big war machine, and we're doing all these word chases on the media and in the government, trying to get the people to even fight with themselves, even in America, against each other. So again, when I look at the system, remember this is bipartisan. This is done by both Republicans and Democrat. They're both bipartisan, means two. Bi means two. Both parties are agreeing to do this. So when people are fighting over this red and blue kind of crap, they really need to look at, each other and say, well, wait a minute, my party put in for it too. My party backed up, but my party sent $6 billion to Iran, paid off terrorists, right? When do we start paying off terrorists? And that's a big red flag too. So again, just like when I was saying about Trump and Biden, both of them are mob bosses. Both of them have been cheating the government. Both of them have been cheating the people. And both of them are being fought over by the American people. Unreal. I don't know how to wake these people up. I mean, then they, leave me comments and stuff saying, give me a hug and say, it's going to be all right. Well, no, nothing's going to be all right until the people wake up and stop voting and invoking it. They just refuse to see it, just like they refuse to see their own body, their own creation that God's created them, because I don't know. I think it's because they're lazy. Seriously. That's the thing about, the third letter in Greek and Hebrew, the letter G, which we see as letter C, which is the key. So G, is like gamma or gimel, and it's about self-will, no one has the will to do it. No one has the will to to plant the 3 seeds, and no one has the will to express and tell others around them that you're planting not only the Christian seed, but you're part of the Judaism and Islam, because they're a fear of being bashed to those around them because they don't understand. And then they don't even incorporate it into their own spiritual journey. They still keep it separate. Then they think that they're going to get saved, and it's like, if you're not going to do the right thing, and if you're not going to do what you know that is right and do the planting, or if you're going to stay with society and then follow that cult, a cult is a culture, society, a way of being. Everybody does, a certain program. They don't steer from. It's like the Christianity is black and white when it's not. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Let me look here at my images. I don't know if this lighting's good, but this one's changing again. But anyway, we'll get to that later.